Hello, welcome to this channel. My name is Enoch. Today we'll be continuing our series on Python and we'll be looking at data types, Python data types. And we know that Python has different data types, and these data types help store, process, and manipulate data in programs. And there are two major data types in Python. One is the primitive one, and the other one is the composite data types. And we'll be focusing on the primitive type today. And the primitive data types, they are also referred to as basic or fundamental data types. They represent single values, like numbers, characters, or true or false. They are not composed of other types. They are the simplest building block of data. All right, and the first one we'll discuss is integer. Integer, they are whole numbers. Integers are whole numbers, negative or positive. If I say x equals to 7, that's an integer. If I say y equals to -9, that's an integer. And if I go ahead and print type of x, and you will see I can also do print type of y, and if you run this, you will see that they are both integers, negative or positive. All right, that's integer for you. Now the next one we'll discuss is float, and float are decimal numbers. Float are decimal numbers. If I say a equals to 1.234, and if I say b equals to -5.452, and if I say print type of a, and if I say print type of b, then you will see that these are float, right? These are float, positive or negative. Once they are decimal numbers, they are float. All right. And the next one now is boolean. Boolean, it just represents either true or false. Boolean represent either true or false. So when we are talking of boolean, we are talking of whether something is true or false, or whether a program or whether a condition is true or false. I can say is active equals true, and the first letter is always capital when you're writing true or false. Don't forget that. Can I say is admin, can I say equals to false, something like that. Anytime you're trying to assess either true or false, in a program, you're talking of boolean program or boolean data types. All right, so that's if I say print type of is active, you will see that you will get class of bool. All right, that's boolean for you. Put that in mind. Now the next one now is string. The next one is string. String is also part of the primitive data type. String are surrounded by single quotation mark or double quotation marks. Strings are surrounded by single quotation mark or double quotation marks. If I say name equals to Enoch, that's a string. If I say tst equals to hello world, that is a string. If you say print type of name, you will see that this will give you class of string. You can see that this will give you class of string, and there's a lot of operation we can perform on string. But before we go to that, you can use code inside a string as long as they don't match the code surrounding the string. I can say that print it's all right, and this will print it's all right. This is a code here, and it's not going to disturb it's not going to disturb the string. I can say print is called Michael, and I can use a single quote here. I can say Michael, I can close it with a single quote. Print it, you will see that will be fine. It's called Michael. You can use quote inside quote like that, and I can also use single quote is called, and I can use double quote here. Is called Enoch. I can close it with double quotes. All right, you can use quote inside the string quote in as much the quote does not match. All right, so that's that. Let us move on from that. Now there are a lot of operations you can perform on your string. You may want to check. You may want to take an element out of your string, and let's look at something like that. Now, square bracket can be used to access each element or a sequence of elements in a string or some other data structure, and we call that subscripting. Scripting, or we can call it slicing. If you just want to take a sequence of character out of the string. And let's look at an example. I can say print hello world, and I can say close, and I can open your square bracket there, and I can put a number there. Now a string or a string, usually the characters usually have index starting from 0. So H will carry index of 0, each E will carry index of 1, like that. 2, 3, 4. The space 2 will carry an index, 5, 6, like that. And you can also count from the back. D will carry an index of -1, and you can continue to count like that. So if I say 0 and I run this, you will see that it will give you H. And if I say 5 and I run it, you will see we have an empty something, because index 5, because there is nothing in index 5. All right, and I can get a set of characters. I can say 2 to 5. That's from index of 2 to index of 5. So you have, but it will exclude 5. It will just give us index of 2 to 4, right? 2 to 5. That's it. And if I want to get from a particular point to the end, I just put the index of the starting point, and I'll put nothing there, and it will print from beginning to the end. You can see that. And if I want to print to a particular point from the beginning, I will just put the last point that I want, and I will leave the beginning empty. And you run this to start from the beginning. I want to take it to the index that you have stated there, excluding that particular index. All right. So now there's also what we call string concatenation. Which basically is trying to join two strings together. If I say print hello, and I close this, and I say plus, we use plus to concatenate string together, and I say world, then you have it like this, and if you print it like this, it will join them together. If I want a space, I can put a space here, and if I run it like this, you will see that it will print exactly the way I want it. So that's string concatenation for you. If I can also go ahead and say, a string of 1, 2, 3, and I can also say a string of 5, 6, 7. And if you do this, you will see that it will not add it together. It will consider it as string, so it will concatenate it together, just joining it together. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. But so that's that about string concatenation. Note that you can only concatenate string to string, not string to an integer or a string to a float. String to a string. Please note that. So this is string and this is another string. You can concatenate them together like that. All right. So that's that. All right, let's continue to type error checking and conversion. When you're running something like this in your program, you can have some error, and you may want to convert, or you may want to check the type of your data. So now type error first. Let's say we have x equals 5. Let's say we have x equals a string of 5, s equals a string of 5, and let's say y equals to 4, and let's say I now say print x plus y. Now if you run this, you are going to get a type error. If you run this, you can see you get a type error. You can only concatenate string, not integer to string. You can only concatenate string to string, just as we discussed above. So x is a string, y is an integer, and if you try to concatenate them together like this, you get a type error. So that's a small example of what can happen when you are running your code. This is a type error. And for type checking, I have shown you earlier, I can say let me comment this out. I can say print type of x, something like that, and it to print is a class of string. You can also use print. Print is instance, and you can use x, an integer like that, and it will tell you either true or false. X is a string, is not an integer. That's why it's saying false. All right, so you can check the type of your data like this, and you can also check like this if you want it to just be truthy or falsy. So that's that. And type conversion can be done using inbuilt function. I can say okay, let me just use the one we have used before. This one that we want to concatenate this string and an integer here. I can just say make this y a string of y, and then it will be able to concatenate it. It will be able to concatenate it. If I will print it like this, you can see that now 5-4. So x is a string, y is an integer, but we have done a type conversion here by converting this string, this y into a string. So that's type conversion. So you can use str to do a type conversion from one particular data type to string. You can use integer like this with you can use int like this to change to integer type. You can use float, float to change to float. You can use bool to change to boolean, just like that. That's type conversion for you. So type conversion is also called typecasting. Type conversion is also called typecasting. Don't forget that. And let's say you say print the number of characters in your name is, and I just put a colon here, and I say length of input, and I say what is your name. All right, now look at this. We are trying to get the number of characters in your name. All right, and we are using a len function here, an input function here, and we are asking what is your name. Now when you do this, we know that input function always give us string, so this will be a string when it comes out, and we use len against it to get the number of characters that are there, and it will give us the number of characters that are there. Let me comment all these ones out so that we can have a clean code. Now if you run this like this, you are going to get an error because len is going to turn into an integer. Well, the result of this will be an integer. When you use len on this, to be an integer, and you cannot concatenate a string with an integer. Let's run it so that you can see it. It will ask you what is your name. I give it my name, Enoch, and you get a type error. You cannot concatenate string to an integer. But if you want to do this, if you want to make this to work, you can just change this one to string, and your program will be fine. Change this one to string and your program will be fine. So we have done a type conversion in this place because this input gives us a string, and len will, if the len function working on it will give us an integer. Then for us to concatenate it with a string, then we have to use the string function. So if you do it like this, then it will work. Let's run it now. What is your name? Then I'll say my name is Enoch. Then say the number of characters in your name is 5, right? All right, that's that. So let's move on. So let's move on to mathematical operation. Mathematical operation can also be done in Python. Your addition, your multiplication, your subtraction. Let's just look at how they are done. I can say print 3 plus 4. That's the way addition is. If you want to do an addition, you use your plus sign also. And I can say print 5 minus 2. If you want to do subtraction, that's the way you do it. These are integers. They don't need to be in code. If I want to do multiplication, we use asterisk for that. I can say 3 multiplied by 6, and that's multiplication for you. I can say print. If you want to do division, I can say 5 divided by 2. That's division for you. And let's run this first, and you will see that everything runs fine. The first one is 7, and 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. All right, anytime you are doing division in Python, you always get a float, data type comes out. All right, it will always come out in float. But if you don't want it to come out, there are some options you have. You can use your float division. We use this for float division like this, and this will remove the decimal part of it. If you run it like this, you will see that you only get your 2, and you get the decimal part will be removed. So this plus is used for division, subtraction, multiplication, float division like that. So let me write the one of float division, separate float division like that. If I want to do modulo, this is how we write modulo. This will give you remainder, modulo or remainder. Don't forget, this will divide and it will give us the remainder part of it. All right, and we also have exponential, and this will be 5 raised to power 2. Let me make this 5 raised to power 3. All right, so if we run this, we will get all our score. You can see float division is 2, modulo is 1, and 5 raised to power 3 is 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. So that's this. So this is exponential, and this is modulo. This is modulo, and this is float division. This is float division, and this is division, right? This is division, right? So that's that. And you may be thinking, okay, if we have multiple mathematical operation or operator in a particular program, which one will take precedence? Let's look at which one take precedence. And what Python use is PEMDAS. Let's give a space for this. PEMDAS. Now PEMDAS stands for, the first one is the parenthesis, and the next one is your exponential, and the next one is your multiplication or division or modulo, and they are in the same category. And if you have multiplication and division or modulo in the same program, then it will run from left to right. Don't forget that. All right, and the last one is addition and subtraction in the same level. So just like that. So if I say print 3 asterisk 3 plus 3 divided by 3 minus 4, what will happen? Which one will take precedence first? You see that from left to right, you have your multiplication first, you have your division there, you have your plus, and you have your, we know that plus and subtraction, they are the last, and multiplication and division are ahead. So it will start from left to right like this, and it will do this one first. So this will be 9, so plus, so it will do the division next. 3 divided by 3 will give us 1. 9 plus 1, that will give us 10. 10 minus 4, this will give us 6, right? This will give us 6. You can see because of the division, it will turn to float, right? And I can go ahead and put parentheses here just to see how this goes, So parentheses, that means it will run this one first. 3 plus 3 is 6. So then it will go ahead to this. This is 3 times 6. This will be 18. 18 divided by 3 becomes 6 back. And 6 minus 4, this will give us 2. So you get 2 points. Like that. Okay, so that's that. That's how that's precedence in mathematical operation in Python. And let's go to the assignment operator. There is the simple assignment operator, which we all know, which is the equal to, I can say x equals to 5. That's an assignment operator. And there are other assignment operator. I can say x plus equals to 1, and this means that x will be equal to x plus 1. That's what is going to happen. X plus equals to 1 the way the computer interpret it is x equals to x plus 1. That's the way it will do it. And I can also say x minus equal to 1, and the computer the Python program will interpret it as x equals to x minus 1, minus 1. So that's that. And I can do the same for division, and I can do the same for multiplication. It will interpret it as x equals to s asterisk 1, and we can do the same for division, and the way the program will interpret it is x equals to x divided by 1. That's the way it's going to interpret it. Just note that in your program. All right, I also want to talk about f string today. F string and f string, I said we cannot concatenate a string and an integer together, but it is possible using f string. We know that we can do a type conversion, but we can also use f string. If I say age equals to 40, and I say tst equals to, I can use it like this, f, and just the way you format it is by using f, and then you open your quote, and I can say my name is Enoch, and I am age years old, and you close it like that, and you can go ahead and say print your tst. All right, if you run this, you will see, let me comment this out so that we don't get an error. All right, so you run it like this. See, my name is Enoch, I am 40 years old. All right, that's just an example of how you can use your f string. You put f there like that, and you put your followed by your quote, and you can put your integer inside a curly bracket like this, and it will be fine. And you can also use it directly even in your print. You can use it as you want. Put your f first, then you put your quote. I am like that, I am age years old, like that. Put your full stop, and if you run this like this, I am 40 years old. You can see like that. So note that. Right, I want to show you how to round up your digit into a particular decimal places today using the round function. And assume I say x equals to 5, and I say y equals to 3, and I say z equals to x divided by y, and I say z equals to round of c, 2. This is gonna round c into 2 decimal places, and I can say print your z, right? Print your z. All right, so now if you run it like this, you will see that we have 1.67. all right, into 2 decimal places. If I want 3 decimal places, I can just put this into 3, and it will give us 3 decimal places. All right, if I don't want any decimal place, if I just want it to just round it up, I'll just put it like that, round around it, and it will just give us, just round it up to the nearest whole number. All right, so that's that. And today we are going to be doing a project that is going to calculate tips. I call it a tip calculator, and let's say a number of people, they went to a restaurant, and they have to share the bill amidst themselves. And let's see how this goes. Now the first thing is I want to print this is a tip calculator. That's our exercise for today. And the next thing is to ask a simple question. How much is the bill? So I will call this bill equals to, and I will use a float. I want to change it to float, and I will use an input function, and I will ask okay, how much is the bill, right? How much is the bill? And so float input, right? All right, well, so we have to use float for type conversion there, because this come out in The input function always give us strings. Now the next thing is to find the percentage of tip that was given. So I can say tip equals to, I can use integer for this. I can do a type conversion, input, and we can ask what percentage of tip will you like to give, right? Can be 0, it can be, is it 10%, is it 12, is it 12 or 15%, right? We can just leave it like that, and that's tip for you. All right, so now we can say total bill. Oh, before we go to total bill, we need to get the number of people that will be sharing the bill. Once we, so number of people, and I can say that is equal to, and I can convert this to an integer, and I can use, I will use my input function. I can say now how many people are sharing the bill, right? How many people are sharing the bill? All right, so now we have the number of people that are sharing the bill. Now the next one now is to get a total bill. I can say total bill equals to bill plus, let's open a parenthesis there, that's bill, now multiply by, then we open another parenthesis which you are going to use for that this will now be tip divided by 100, right? Tip divided by 100, that's it. So for us to get the total bill, we need to first convert the percentage, into an integer or a float, and we add it to the bill, right? So that's what we have done here. We multiply it by the bill, then we add it to the bill, right? Yeah. So that's that. Now the next thing now is to find the amount that each person will pay. So amount for individual equals to equals to total bill divided by number of people, right? That's it. Total bill divided by number of people. All right, now once we do this, then we want to round it into 2 decimal places. So I can say rounded bill will be equals to round amount for individual, amount for individual, amount for individual, then we round it into 2 decimal places, right? So that's that. Rounded bill equals to, so we can now print, I can say print each person will pay, and I can say I can then rounded bill like this. This is will be a float, so we have to convert it. We can, let's concatenate it, let's concatenate it like that, and we'll be fine like this. So each person will pay full of rounded bill like that. So let's run our program. Let's go through it again. This is a tip calculator. First, this is a tip calculator. Bill, float, how much is the bill, tip, input, what percentage of tip would you like to give, 0, 10, 12 or 15%, something like that. Number of people, then we ask how many people are sharing the bill, then we find the total bill, and once we get the total bill, then we look at amount for individual, that's total bill divided by number of people, then we round it up, we round it to 2 decimal places. All right, and we print it. All right, so let's run our program. This is a tip calculator. How much is the bill? 124.56. What percentage? 12%. How many people are sharing the bill? 7 people, and each person will pay 19.93. So that's that for today. Thank you for watching. You can try it yourself again, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.